So I wanted to share something about back tension. I've heard a lot of people describe back tension in a multitude of ways, all the way from you're pulling hard in the wall to you're just trying to keep pressure so you don't creep forward in your valley. Back tension was originally about finger shooting. So as a finger shooter, which I grew up shooting fingers as a youth, most of my youth was spent shooting with fingers. But the idea was when you come back to full draw, and as you start to let go, your string is slowly moving forward as your fingers are uncurling. And so in turn, what you were trying to do is you were trying to roll your shoulder back while you unroll your fingers to try to keep the string at the same draw length. What it came down to is back tension was the idea of squeezing your back together to keep your draw length the same. So conceptually, when we got our shooting machine, we spent time looking into that. What happens about pulling into the wall? Can you pull too far into the wall? What happens if you don't pull into the wall? Will the arrow repeat in the same spot? And what we learned real quick was if you don't have the exact same draw length, it will not shoot the same arrow in the same hole. What we also found out is some bows, not all bows, but some bows, if you overdraw, like if I was to draw my bow back and pull hard against the wall and you put a mark on my arrow so we know that's the draw length, and then I put it in the machine and I overdraw it past that mark even a quarter of an inch, and I draw it there every time, the arrow will just randomly spray down range. So what that means is unless you do the test or have access to a machine, you don't know if you overdraw your bow or not, whether you're gonna get a spray or get punished for it. So it's just safe not to do it. So keep in mind when people talk about doing, back tension is the idea of trying to keep yourself at a consistent draw length point. And if you look in our bio feed or our bio links, you'll see a video that we did about putting marks on your cables. That's a much more efficient way of being able to tell whether you're at the same draw length than the muscle feel of pulling into your wall, because pulling in the wall and you happen to have a spongy wall, you could be overdrawing your bow and not even know it. So in turn, keep in mind, back tension isn't about necessarily really hammering into the back of your wall as much as it is about maintaining the same draw length.